I would definitely like to ask this last question from all our panel that is on board with us today is that we definitely spoke about the problems, we spoke about the solutions, we spoke about an added skill set, which is of course needed, and our audience today definitely is benefited by this discussion. But what do we do to inspire these engineers to be a part of the semiconductor industry? Like when usually I meet my students around and I ask them, okay, why semiconductor industry, right? So they do not really have a very definite answer and they're not very sure about their reasons of even getting into the industry. So how do we create this awareness and how do we create this push, I would say, and inspire them to be a part of the semiconductor industry after spending 4 years of education in electricals and electronics? So yes, over to you, Dr. Acharya.
Yeah, I think I have two important points to cover while coming to your last question.
Yes.
From all that we covered so far, two key messages for me is one, you cannot take out teacher from the process of learning, right? No matter how many e-learnings are there, digital education is there, all of that is there. No organization or no training or no education will be successful if you take the teacher out of the process of teaching. Now that is where the role of a teacher in a blended learning, the teaching methodologies may change. The quantum of training that people used to do face to face, that may come down, but you cannot take out the teacher from the process of learning, number one. Number two, the role of the teacher has, or role of the educators or the trainers has substantially changed over the past couple of years. Now, gone are those days where people were standing on the stage or training where they used to teach hours together, hoping with the hope that at least a few of the seeds will be picked up and some tree will grow. Now, those days are gone. The role of teacher today is more of a facilitator, guided learning, and so that they can coach and mentor. The content wise, the topic wise, there are hazard learning materials available across the globe in multiple platforms. But where people are today confused is what do I learn? How do I learn? Is there a guiding? That is where the role of a guru or a teacher comes into picture. These are two key messages for me because irrespective of whether it is in the how do you coach people getting into the VLSI space or an automotive space or an avionics space, the challenge is the same, right? People are, when people graduate at the end of the fourth year, they are pretty confused. If you ask any engineer, do you have a definite career path for you, what you want to do? Take it from me, 99 out of 100 people, they say, I don't know, whatever comes on my way, I'm going to accept it. I'm going to test it out for a year or two. If it works well, it works well. If it doesn't, I have another ship to jump, right? Now, how do we change this is a question that you asked. My strong recommendation is, this is where industry has got a strong responsibility to start engaging with the young talent when they are in the third year itself. Now, you various industries, be it the silicon industry, be it with the embedded industry, be it the medical industry, automotive industry, we have to frequently interact, go and talk about what each industry is about, what are they doing, what are the challenges. Go and talk about this in the institutions through multiple channels. Now, out of 100 people join your sessions, maybe 10 people may choose your area, which is fine. Rest 90 may feel at least they will know that this is not the area where I want to go to. Then somebody else comes and they may choose an area of expertise that they want. Last but not the least, I think today we are living in a highly interdisciplinary world. That is a reality. A software engineer needs to know the automotive world, an automotive guy or a mechanical guy needs to know about embedded. They may need to, therefore, gone are those days where you have a very pure bifurcation of platforms that a mechanical engineer will do only mechanical, software guy will do only software, embedded guy will do only embedded. Those bifurcations are gone. So the responsibility on us when we go to the institutions or the address such kind of forums, we have to bring in the interdisciplinary approach for learning. And as I said, some of the best architects that I've worked, they are non-software, non-electronic guys. Now, I have seen even in my life at Infosys, there were guys with mechanical background. They were the fantastic guys in the VLSI space. You will not believe, but it's a fact. In my engineering services business unit, we had guys with mechanical, and we had guys with electrical doing the software job. We had the software guys doing the embedded job. We had the mechanical guys doing the VLSI job. The organization has got a responsibility to nurture this kind of interdisciplinary learning and application areas. Right? That is my take on the concluding remarks from my side, Sweetie.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Acharya. In the interest of time, moving to you, Gaurav.
Yeah, I'll probably quickly talk about that. So one good thing about the current generation, unlike the previous generation, probably that we belong is for us, we didn't have much choice, much information. Every kid in the house wanted to be an engineer or doctor because that led to probably a financial freedom. This generation is relatively fortunate in that sense that education has percolated deep in the society, and the average income is better than before. The availability of information is so much. I mean, every person who is going to college probably carries a phone which is connected to the internet, and they can search anything and everything. So the information is available now. uh, Second part is, what is this industry? So probably from the audience, if there are guys who are part of the engineering community and willing to move into semiconductors. So this is, I mean, if you like core engineering, core electronics, and a mix of hardware and software, this is the industry to be in. If you want a very well-respected job, yes, of course, this industry gives you that. Well-paid job, of course, yes, this industry gives you that. You want to have an international exposure, this industry gives you that. So if you have a checklist, almost everything this industry gives. So as long as you are having a flair, and the most important thing is electronics is very pervasive now. I mean, yesterday again in the newspaper it was like the automotive industry is seeing a stall because semiconductor supply is limited. So as we move forward, an average electronics per person in the house will be like 40, which means there's a huge demand coming in, and then nothing great than seeing that, okay, I worked on this product and that product is used in my house. I mean, that feeling is amazing. As an engineer, I felt it, and I want others who are starting their career to think about it, because you have a tangible product which is you can see, feel, use, and then be happy that I worked towards creating it, right? Then the question comes on how you can how we can encourage these people. As Dr. Acharya said, as Shiva also pointed out, that institutes probably can encourage some introductory guest lectures from the industry, where people like us can introduce what is this industry all about to all the engineers. They may be getting information, but that one or two session can help them pick the right industry early on, maybe in the second year or third or fourth semester, and so that they can then from there start and energies towards right internships or the trainings that Maven and all provide, so that they can slowly have a clean path of entering into the industry. That would be my final submission to this session.
Wow, beautiful and
Thank you.
so relatable. Actually, so relatable. Jayashree, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Sweetie. When Dr. Keynes was talking, it just occurred to me what we did in our company. One of the HR teams had come up with a new program, that's career development program for engineers. Of course, we need it for the people who are in colleges, but after they enter the company, also you need to lay out a path for them to develop. People will be so confused. They will not know where to go, which path to take, and they need to know what are the opportunities available, right? So you are entering as an engineer, probably as an RTL designer, but going forward, you may develop some interest in the verification, or maybe some interest in embedded space or AI space. But do you have what is the path that I need to choose? So there was no such clear guidance. People were there to mentor. The mentorship is going on regularly, but new program has come up now where it's like an official program wherein people can get into that and take the mentorship, try and understand what is the path vertically and horizontally, how I can move in that space. Similar program can be done in colleges, right? So in all the space, it need not be VLSI space, in all the spaces, whichever technologies you take, what are the challenges you have? How do you prepare yourself for that? So this kind of program is very much necessary. This will help people to give some information about what skills they need to ramp up. and what are these, and also the colleges can do some skill drill for people to ramp up for all this. And as Professor Keynes mentioned, um inviting industry folks to BOS, Board of Studies, is a very good idea. Most of the colleges are doing this. That gives them a sense of what is required by the industry and how engineers need to be prepared. What is the gap between theory and the real-time application? So that need to be adopted. That can only be done only when you invite industry folks. And also there are other ways of doing it, like you can offer 1 credit or 2 credit courses from the industry folks, and provided they have the bandwidth to do that. Definitely industry would be interested in contributing to this community, because finally from where you get the resource? From colleges, right? So both have to be contributing to this. That's one of these things that I was thinking. I mean, coming from my Qualcomm company, we have come up with a academic council. So there are many opportunities that people are getting from the universities, like professors. They are getting opportunities to participate in fellowship, innovative fellowship. So there are certain projects that are coming up. Say you can participate in those programs, you can get the fellowship, and the IP is going to be owned by you. There will be certain discussions that will go on that. And also there are other programs like startup engagements, and there are few courses that are offered by Qualcomm through Qualcomm Wireless Academy. And what I suggest is even students as well as professors, they can follow the company website in LinkedIn. At least you will get to know what's happening and what are the announcements that are coming up from the companies, because I think this is the platform where all the companies are sharing what they're doing, and also what are the achievements that's being done, whether it is for the academics or for the people who are in the industry. What are the new programs that they are running? And there are many programs that are running, and it can only be reached through either you go and look at their website or just follow them through LinkedIn, right? People keep sharing all this information. I think that's one of the ways, and also I feel that industry responsibility is also there to contribute more into this academics. So people are trying, people have realized that they need to contribute, and I think I'm pretty sure that more and more programs are going to come up. That's it, sweetie, from my side.
That's amazing. So you're so right. Having a sense of direction is so important, and if companies like Qualcomm are able to give it also internally, I think nothing like it, and everybody should try and adapt to these methods. So Shiva, coming to you, I know there is so much of sensitization and awareness that we as an organization are doing in terms of the semiconductor space. So what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, the real question we wanted to ask the panel members was what the industry can do to companies like Maven Silicon so that we can do a better job, right? So still, we can plan for the next panel session. That's where I would like to invite all the panel members once again to share their perspective. So on behalf of them, I would like to share my perspectives. See what actually we expect from the industry. We expect your participation. Please participate in our panel discussions. And there will be events like leadership connect events. And we want you to share your experience. And we want you to share your feedback also, how best we can improve our curriculum. Some of the things, important things, right? And we also work closely with the EDA industry. EDA industry is also part of semiconductor industry, and we expect good support from the EDA industry. We are working with the Mentor Graphics. Now it's Siemens EDA. We are very thankful to Siemens EDA. The best thing is actually they considered Maven Silicon under university program, and that's the reason today we are able to access their tools. I would say like plenty of licenses, and EDA tools are very expensive, and without EDA tools, we might not be able to train the engineers on real-time projects. And that's the expectation from companies like L&T or Spicaworks also. Like they don't want to spend time again to take the engineers through the EDA related stuff. right? Any training programs related to EDA, right? So we expect more support from the EDA industry. And at this point of time, I would like to share some of the success stories also. During the pandemic, we worked closely with companies like Qualcomm, companies like Samsung. We trained more than 500 engineers. That was a huge success. For example, if you look at L&T, right, when I interacted with Dr. Acharya, he mentioned about his requirement. In addition to the training, standard training we offer, actually he wanted to train the engineers further on real-time projects. How about deploying these engineers on projects and let them work continuously on projects? Because this is how things are going to happen in the field, right? This was his requirement. And we came up with a unique model, internship model, right? So that was beautiful, and I'm well connected with Mr. Gaurav. We have been working closely, even when he used to be part of the services industry. He used to hire a lot of engineers from Maven Silicon, and then later on he founded his own services company, right? So trust is there, and we are very thankful to all our industry partners, EDA partners. We expect the culture to be like this. We want your participation. We expect open-minded people like you, right? That's still, it's very challenging for us to change the culture. Especially in design services space, most of the companies, of course, they are conservative. They have their own challenges, but still, they have to think beyond internal training. That's my request. So that's where I would like to show people like Dr. Acharya, Mr. Gaurav, right? They have been very successful when it comes to collaborating with training players like Maven Silicon. It works. So please think beyond internal training. It can be even a hybrid model, right? We are not trying to replace your experts. They have their own domain expertise. But of course, if you look at training engineers in bulk, for example, how about training hundreds of engineers every year? That's where we can play an essential role, key role, right? So thank you all.
Great. Thank you so much, Shiva. So